What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Mike Rock Uncensored. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do me a huge favor, hit the like, subscribe, and follow button so that you can receive all the latest updates as soon as I make them available to you. All right, I just want to touch base before I have to get out of here for the day, man. I haven't had a chance to speak on the Trump situation since the jury went into deliberation. I have to say that I am very unhappy with the justice system at this point. I think it is a very broken system. I don't think anybody in their right mind can look at what's going on with Trump and say that the Democratic Party has not weaponized the DOJ in order to serve their needs. And if you don't think that that is a sign of communism or fascism or whatever the case may be, we have dictators in office right now and they need to go. Like I said, and this, for me, this is not so much about Trump as it is for the rest of us. There's this thing in law, it's called precedence. And when they do some really messed up stuff to our own former president, just think about what they are able to do after that with the rest of us in this country. It's precedence. If they can do it to the president, they can do it to you. So it's something to really think about. We are no longer holding court in the courtroom. We are holding court through the media, through our government, out on the streets. It's a very scary world that we are living in right now, and we need to find a way to fix it. The first way that we fix it is to go ahead and find Trump not guilty. Why? I do believe that there is an agenda that they're not sharing. I think it's an agenda that needs to exist where we eradicate ourselves from everything that the Democratic Party is trying to do, to reverse those things that are keeping us from being a true democracy here in America. First of all, we're a republic. But the democracy that they want people to believe that we're living in, we're not living in it. It's not here. They've changed it. They've created this dictatorship and they've disguised it as a form of democracy so that they can convince you to continue to vote for them. They give you the little crumbs. Oh yeah, we love black people. We love gay people. We love transgenders. They give you those little things so that they can get the big wins. But when you look at the results of what's going on in this country, we are going to shit. Now, with the Trump situation, I already knew, just found out a couple days ago, that the judge had released some jury instructions to say that in order to find him guilty of felony A, all the jury had to do, they didn't have to unanimously agree that he is guilty of any one particular thing. I've never in my life heard of a judge giving instructions that allows the jury to have options on what he is guilty of. You're literally saying that, and this was my understanding a couple days ago. My understanding has changed for the worse. But back when I first understood this, the judge was basically saying that you have option A, B, C, and D. If any of you don't all have to unanimously agree on any one of these. But if 4 of you agree on A, 5 of you agree on C, 3 of you agree on B, and then the remainder agrees on D, I'm going to count that as a unanimous verdict in the form of guilty for Donald Trump. I've never in my life heard of having options on what you can vote guilty and not guilty on. The only options were, was he guilty of this or was he guilty of that? But you had to vote unanimously on one or the other. Yes, the options were he could be guilty of this, or you could also find him guilty of this. But it had to be unanimous, not, hey, we'll just add it up. Some of y'all think he's guilty of A, some of y'all think he's guilty of B. If you guys all vote that he's guilty of something, then that dude is guilty. That is crazy. That is unheard of. If you don't believe that this justice system right now with Judge Merchan or whatever his name is not corrupted by the Democratic Party, that is not politicized, if you don't think that this trial is politicized, I'll just throw down a few things for you to understand. Number one, Judge Merchan, his daughter is making millions of dollars for the Democratic Party off of this trial. Point blank and simple. President Biden tried to say that this was not political. But the day that the trial closed, the day that they gave their closing arguments, they sent down Robert De Niro to speak right across the street on behalf of the Democratic Party to try to say why Trump was a bad idea, why he needs to be found guilty, why he doesn't need to be president. In fact, I don't even know if he talked about the trial, to be honest. I just know that he spoke on behalf of Biden and why. Why'd you do it in New York? Like, why'd you do it down there by the trial if this wasn't politicized? Why would you do that knowing that the perspective that people would have on why you're there would be political only? That you've just confirmed that this trial is now a political witch hunt. Why would you do that? Because you don't care. You can sell the Democrats and the liberals on absolutely anything that you want, and they are buying. They're eating that shit up. Not all of them, because people are waking up. But the people who have bought into this political nonsense, this you support my agenda, so I'll support yours in return. You can do whatever you want, and they will work with you to disguise it as something else. But the people aren't buying it anymore. Judge Merchan's daughter's getting paid. Robert De Niro goes down to give closing. I'm going to say he gave closing arguments. And Judge Merchan himself, I don't know how much it was. I don't know if it's petty or not, but I've been told that he also donated to the Democratic Party. And as a judge, you are supposed to be impartial, and you are not supposed to be taking sides. You're not supposed to be doing things like making donations to a political party. And then all of a sudden you've got the president from the other side in your courtroom. And then I told you earlier that the judge gave them options on what Trump could be guilty of, and then he was just going to add up the guilty verdicts. And as long as it was unanimous, didn't matter which one it was, he was guilty of something. That didn't make sense. And now this doesn't make sense even more. There's a lot of experts out there that don't even know what crime Trump has been charged with. Now, see, I didn't want to say anything because I am not an expert. I'm trying to figure stuff out. And once I did, then I was going to relay that information to our viewers. But to hear experts say that after the entire trial, which I believe took 6 weeks, was it? I don't remember how long it took. But you have experts coming out that they still don't know what he has been charged with. I'm sorry. How do you even bring a man to trial when you don't have an official charge to bring before the people? This is the same charge that the federal government decided not to prosecute him on. I think there was one other board that decided that they didn't want to charge him because they didn't have enough evidence to convict him of anything. Even if they thought he was guilty, they didn't feel they had enough evidence. But then you've got Fat Alvin Bragg that wants to decide, hey, I'm going to be the savior of the Democratic Party, and I'm going to put my career on the line in order to make this happen for our president. What's killing me is that nothing that I've said, even hearing it come out of my mouth, tells me that what they're doing is for the American people. And that's what I personally care more about more than anything else. You got Donald Trump on trial for charges he shouldn't be on trial with. You got the judge making up jury instructions that make no sense, but is giving him an opportunity to almost force the jury to side on behalf of the prosecutors and find Trump guilty of something. What? They don't know. So a lot of people believe that even though there's no evidence to support anything that they've said other than the testimony of someone who not only lied before, but even after he was sworn into oath on this testimony, they found out that he lied again. So this guy, this is a career liar, the GOAT, as they say, the greatest liar of all time. And he is the only evidence that they have that Trump is guilty of something. This is a very corrupt judicial system. And one thing, the reason why I'm voting for Trump, let's change that. I'm going to tell you right now, whether they find a way to get Trump off the ballot or not, I am voting on the side of Republicans. This isn't a pro-Trump election. This is an anti-Biden election for a lot of people, including me. I am supporting Trump. I think he has been wrongfully accused of a lot of things, and I don't think half the things. For them to come up with these kind of charges against a man like Trump, that tells me that you really don't have a lot against this man. Because while you're trying to bring like a lot of his misdeeds in the past to light, nobody wants to talk about the things that the government and the media is hiding from public attention, from public eyes right now. Things like the Epstein list. Why can't we, if you're so hell-bent on protecting children and keeping pedophiles and stuff out of our government system, how come nobody is releasing that Epstein list? Fuck who you're trying to protect. Release. We have a right to know who is been okay with being in the company. I'm trying to keep this PG rated, I swear. But trying to be in the company of young minors. We deserve to know. This whole thing with the Diddy situation, we found out that the FBI raided them. They're raiding him allegedly for the videotapes. They didn't care nothing about Diddy at the time. They'll probably get him later, but they want to make sure that he doesn't have any more evidence on them before they do that. So what's on those tapes? The Democratic Party right now has done nothing but dupe the American people. I don't understand. I'm going to create another video a little bit later on about how I feel that they're duping the black community. And I don't understand why anybody in the black community, once you know what the Democratic Party has been doing to us, and yes, I said us, has been doing to us, not since slavery, not since the civil rights movement, but we're talking about with our sitting president now. We'll talk about it in a later video. I just don't see once you know what this man, Trump has been accused of being racist. We know Biden is racist, or at the very least has done some very racist things. But we are willing to overlook those things, like Ashley Biden's diary, for instance, in order for us to get what we believe we deserve, or to get those handouts that the Democratic Party is only promising the people, not actually delivering on. I got to get up out of here, man. I'm very excited about being there for my son on his graduation day. But again, everything that I needed to do that kept me from being here with you the last couple of days, it's done. It's over with. I'm ready to get back to being me and get back to providing you guys with the videos and the discussions, and start making shit happen here in America with your help. In closing, just wanted to say that we are officially on Spotify. By the end of this week, we will also be on iTunes. We are making sure that we are delivering the message to as many people as possible. The message, in case you're wondering, it isn't everything we do is pro-Trump. Everything we do has got to be MAGA. No, at the end of the day, at least on this channel, we are more focused on right versus wrong as opposed to right versus left. And right now, nobody is more wrong than what's going on the left. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.